Hello and welcome to another session where we'll be exploring concepts of algebra to solve CXC pass multiple choice items. Do enjoy. The question reads, if 2x minus 1 is less than or equal to 3x plus 6, then the value of x would have mean what? In solving a question like this, we always, in algebra, and by extension, inequalities, bring the unknown value towards the left-hand side and take all the other quantity, especially when they're known, to the right-hand side. So in terms of writing this, or rewriting this by transposition, it becomes 2x minus 3x, because taking a positive quantity over the equal sign give us a negative value, is less than or equal to 6 plus 1. There we have a concept again, taking a negative over the equal sign, it becomes a positive. By further simplifying, we have a minus 1x is less than or equal to 7. But because the negative values, we don't see them, and they're imaginary, we need a positive x value to tell us what exactly is this unknown x equal to. Now for us to clear this negative sign in front of this minus x, we multiply the inequality throughout by negative 1. In multiplying a negative by a negative, we get a positive x. In multiplying a negative 1 by a positive 7 give us a negative 7. In multiplying a negative 1 by the inequality sign, this sign turns around. So our solution for this question is x is greater than or equal to minus 7, which would have been A. We need to be very careful with the negative sign on the opposite side and how we treat them. If 5 of y minus 2 minus 3 of y plus 4 equals 0, then y equals to what? A question like this involves removal of brackets and simplifying, then solving a linear equation. But for us to arrive at the linear equation, we need to back up and go through the processes of, firstly, simplifying the brackets by whatever coefficient is there. We remove the brackets, then simplify. So let us go remove bracket. This becomes 5 times y plus 5, and y plus 5 is because this value here is positive 5 times minus 2. So this is 1 minus 3 times y minus 3 times 4. All of this here equals 0. Again, why this is minus? This minus comes from this sign here and it governs the 3. In further simplifying, we will get 5y minus 10 minus 3y minus 12 equals 0. Grouping 5y minus 3y minus 10 minus 12 equals 0. 2y minus 22 equals 0. There we have an interesting concept. Minus 10 minus 12, we are summing all those values together. That's how we arrive at minus 22, where 2y is equal to 22, taking a negative 22 over the equal sign, it becomes a positive 22. Therefore, 2y equals 22, where y is 22 divided by 2. So 1y is equal to 11. So the solution for this question is D equal 11. A rectangle which is 3 times as long as it's wide has a width of PCM. Its perimeter in cm is? Interesting question. Now, in algebra, as much as we like to write things in symbol form, or we use symbol to represent them, there are times we need to draw and writing what is the question to really give us a clearer picture. If we're talking about a rectangle, has a length and a width. Now they're telling us that the width of this rectangle is P, but its length is 3 times as long. Therefore, the length is 3p. In computing the perimeter would have been the distance around, and the perimeter of a rectangle is 2 times the length plus 2 times the breadth. Therefore, the perimeter would have been 2 of 3p plus 2 of p. So this would have been 6p plus 2p, which would have been 8p. Additionally, we could have gone around to show another example of how to find the perimeter by summing the sides of the rectangle. Now, if the length is 3p, both lengths, they're parallel, 3p, p and p, and in summing these values, it would have been 3p plus a p plus a 3p plus another p, which gave us 8p. So, like I said again, in a lot of multiple choice items, there are several ways in solving multiple choice items or solving mathematical problems, providing the logic is mathematically coherent. Jane has X sweets and Mary has 3 times as many. If together they have 28, how many sweets does Jane have? Here we have a comparison between 2 persons here. We have Jane and we have Mary. And the expression is that Jane has X sweets and Mary has 3 times as many. Therefore, Mary would have had 3 times X. But altogether, the 2 of them has 28 sweets. The question is asking us, how many does Jane have? And Jane has, in the whole expression or the whole quantity, X amount, whereas Mary has 3 times as many as Jane. So in solving a simple linear equation as this, 4x would have been 28, where x is 7. The value of Mary's number of sweets in this expression is 7, whereas Mary has 3 times as many, which would have been 21. So our solution for this question is A, which is how much does Jane have, not Mary. If the length of a rectangle is doubled, by what number must the width be multiplied in order that the area remains the same? Now here, we need to understand first the concept before we apply what exactly they're asking us. Let us take an example here. Look at this example. We're saying, right, if we have a rectangle, the length is 2 and the width is 1. The area, in this case, would have been 2 square units. All right, so the question says, if we increase the length by twice the amount, so from 2 we increase it to 4, twice the amount, but the area must be maintained to be the same. What value should we multiply by in order for that to happen? We should multiply the length by half to maintain the area being the same. So our solution for the question would have been B, which is a half. Here we have a 3D shape. And they're asking us for the total surface area. The total surface area would have been the number of faces on this shape. So we have a rectangular solid that we want the total surface area for. In this cuboid comprising of 6 faces comprises of 2 identical faces. Take for example, the first rectangle or the first face that is in this side, we have a corresponding one at the next side for it. That is, this side is corresponding to this side here. Likewise, 3x times x, which would have had this face corresponding to this face. So we'd have 2 identical faces. And we have the top face, which is 3x times 5x, which is this face, and the bottom face times 2. So we have some identical faces that we need to total up before we have our total surface area. So in this case here, 5x times 2. Then we have 3x times 2. Then we have 15x squared times 2. This would have given us 10x squared, 6x squared, 30x squared. So our solution is 46x squared gives us the total surface area represented in square units for that shape. Variation. And we would have known about the 2 types that exist, inverse and direct variation. In this question, it reads, y varies inversely as the square of x. So, y varies inversely as the square of x, written like that. Now, they say if a is a constant, then y is. Now, in dropping this inequality sign and representing it with an equal sign, this would have been y equals to kx squared. So our solution there would have been d kx squared, 5 into x plus y minus 3 into x minus y equals. Here we have a set of operations that we need to perform before we simplify to the lowest value. The first operation we need to do is to remove or clear the bracket by the coefficient, meaning whatever is in front of the bracket, we multiply it to show that that value was the coefficient that governs the bracket. Now, why we use a positive here, it's because this 5 is positive. And there again, why we use a negative here and here, it's because of this negative here. And for the simplifying, this is 5x plus 5y minus 3x plus 3y. Very important again, when we're multiplying a negative by a negative, the value is positive. In further simplifying, 5x minus 3x plus 5y plus 3y gives us 2x plus 8y. So our solution there is C. 4x plus 8 divided by 2 is equivalent to what? Now, in decomposing this algebraic expression, we could write this as 4x divided by 2 plus 8 divided by 2. In reducing it to its lowest term, this could be further be simplified as 2x plus 4. Hence, our solution there is B, 3x plus 1 divided by 2 minus x plus 1 divided by 4. Algebraic fractions. So we need to find whenever we are having a subtractor between the fraction or an addition, the LCM. In this case, the LCM of 2 and 4 is 4. 2 into 4 would have given us 2 times the numerator of that fraction, minus 4 into 4, 1 times the numerator of that fraction. In further simplifying this question, it becomes 6x plus 2 minus 1x plus 1 divided by 4. Very key to know that when we're multiplying a negative by a negative, it gives us a positive. Further simplifying, 6x minus 1x plus 2 plus 1 divided by 4. This gives us 5x plus 3 divided by 4. And that would have given us the solution of A, 4 upon x plus 4 equals 16. Now there are several ways of solving this question. We're going to try both of them so that whichever method you use, the solution would have been the same. There we go again. If we had an addition or a subtraction here, we find the LCM. The LCM here would have been x. X into x give us 1. 1 times 4 would have been 4. Plus 1 into x, x times 4, 4x should equal to 16. This would have given us 4 plus 4x should have equal to 16 times x. 4 plus 4x should equal to 16x. So we have 4 should equal to 16x minus 4x, grouping the like terms, where we have 4 is equal to 12x. Where we have 4 divided by 12 gives us x. Therefore, x would have equal to 1 upon 3. That solution would have been B. Or we could go wrong another method of saying 4 upon x plus 4 equals 16, where 4 upon x is equal to 16 minus 4, taking a positive over the equal sign. So we have 4 upon x is equal to 12. But we don't want 4 upon x and cross multiplying here. We would have 4 is equal to 12 times x, where x would have equal to 4 upon 12. Therefore, our solution here would have been 1 upon 3 is equal to x. So whichever method you use, the solution would have been the same. So our solution there would have been B. 2x minus 3 into x plus 8 equals to what? This is a very interesting question where we need to recognize the bracket is governed by this coefficient here. And this coefficient is not a positive 3, but a negative 3. So in removing the bracket by this value, we need to be very careful. So this would have been 2x minus 3 times x minus 3 times a positive 8 equals to what? And further simplifying this would have been 2x minus 3x minus 24 equals to. And further simplifying, we have x minus 24 is the simpler version of 2x minus 3 into x plus 8. So our solution there would have been A. Given that 3 of x minus 1 minus 2 of x minus 1 equals 7. We want the value of x. There are several methods as well. We could further simplify it. You would have seen that this bracket here is 3 of this and this is 2 of this. So we could separate it and say that 3x minus 2x gave us x minus 1 equals 7, where x is equal to 7 plus 1, x equals 8. Or we could have gone wrong and said 3 of x minus 1 minus 2 of x minus 1 equals 7. Removal of bracket. So we have 3x minus 3 minus 2x plus 2 equals 7. Grouping the like terms, we have 3x minus 2x minus 3 plus 2 equals 7. X minus 1 equals 7. X is equal to 7 plus 1. X is equal to 8. So whichever method you use, it's left on to you, but it's very interesting to know that you need to identify what is common and what is not. If m operations n, and this is a binary operation, equals to the root of mn minus n squared, then 5 operation 3 equals to, in this concept of binary operation, it's an associative principle of direct substitution, meaning the value of m is replaced by 5 and the value of n is replaced by 3 in this case. So wherever we see m and n in the expression, we substitute correspondingly 5 and 3. So in substituting, we would have had the square root of 5 times 3 minus 3 squared. This would have further simplified to be 15 minus 9, which would have given us the root of 6. So our solution is A. If x equals 4 and y equals 2, what is the value of x squared plus 3y divided by xy? Now they give us values of x and y. They tell us that x equals 4 and y equals 2. So wherever we are seeing x, we're putting in 4, and wherever we see y, we're putting in 2 as the direct substitution. So if we were to substitute into this expression here, this would have given us 4 squared, the value of x, plus 3 of 2, value of y, divided by 4 times 2. And further simplifying this expression, it gives us 16 plus 6 divided by 8. Further simplifying gives us 22 divided by 8. 2 4s, 2 11, and if we were to reduce 11 upon 4, in further reducing 11 upon 4 in its lowest fraction, this would have given us 2 and 3 upon 4, which would have been D as our solution. The perimeter of a square, is 48 cm. What is the area in cm square? Now, this is an interesting question. The perimeter means the distance around. So, if we add the 4 sides, we would have had 48 cm. But they don't know what the perimeter. They give us that. They did not give us the side. So we need to find the side to find the area of this square. Now, the perimeter of a square is 4L. That is 4 times the length give us the perimeter. Now, if we know The perimeter, can we find L? Yes, we can. We take the perimeter, which is 48, divided by the 4 sides, give us 1 length. If we know the length would have been 12 cm. Now that's the length of one side. The area for a square, the area is L square. Knowing the length of the sides of the square, we can find the area. The area, therefore, is 12 cm square, which gives us area of this square is 144 cm square. So our solution is D. The lengths of the sides of a triangle are x, 2x, and 2x centimeters. If the perimeter is 20 centimeters, what is the value of x? Interesting. We were to represent this triangle, x, 2x, 2x, and they tell us that the perimeter is 20 cm. Now, in reality, for us to find the distance around a shape or an object, to give us the perimeter, we need to sum them up. So in summing or finding the perimeter of this triangle, the perimeter would have equal to 2x plus 2x plus x. So the perimeter of this triangle is 5x. But they give us the perimeter. The perimeter is 20 cm. If 20 cm is equal to 5x, which is the sum of the sides of the triangle, therefore, the value of x would have been 20, which is the perimeter, divided by 5, which would have been the sum of the sides of the triangle, give us the unknown value of x, where x is equal to 4 cm. So the value of x in this question would have been 4, which is A. This question involves laws of indices, and it reads the expression 2a cube is the same as 2a cube. What they mean here is that every quantity in the bracket is raised to this index form, or is expressed in this index form, meaning this is 2 raised to the 3 power times a raised to the 3 power. Now, 2 to the 3rd power is the same as 8 times a cube, which can be further represented as 8a cube. The solution there is D. P upon 5 equals 20, linear equation. They want the value of P. In transposition, taking a denominator over the equal sign becomes a multiplier, hence P would have been 20 times 5, where P is equal to 100. However, when we look at the solution, we do not need a fixed value. They want us to just show us an expression, what is value of P. So our solution should stop at 5 times 20. So the solution for this question, P upon 5 equal 20, would have been P equals 5 times 20, which would have been C. The expression y is equal to the square of x can be written as y, we write it just as it is being pronounced, is equal to the square of x, or it's x squared. So our solution there is A, y equal x squared. I hope you had fun while exploring past CSEC multiple choice items. I know you'll be seeing me again, and as we go through these concepts, I want to remind you, for us to be solving these questions, no calculator will be provided for us, so we're taking our time going through these concepts for you to understand and use them query with your teachers how we arrive at this solution. Until I see you again, do enjoy.